I'm saying the best season we know we. In the last 3 seasons, you know, we shot 13, 11, and then 13 goals. But 13 goals are fin of season in Yankwa and Juma at the Atalanta and a Gasperini. I am super happy. Somebody Jano, what minute striker no SAC or Montem. Oh, shot Chelsea. A game across so many Leicester City boy in one. My junior Yako said for now no yaw engine too. Maresca and then Chelsea are stuck to the typical 4-2-3-1. Double pivot of Caicedo Fernandes will be going into tomorrow. Back four no there changes kakra ho because me for fun I mean who said obetimi akosoko ball right back. He loves to be a central defender. But Leicester team no a team back got a lot through the wave. And you want central defender be now ko Gusto Malo that right back on a Kukuyara Subakodia. Always on back, especially having a double pivot on possible follow ball in Caicedo and then Fernandes. So about for fun, about Kukuyara, about Tosina Darabioyo and then Levi Cowell. No, it was a flat 4 with the exception of Kukuyara, who can always offend in the final third. Of course, on the decided game, no, at the Mamo. In the final third, changes Kakrao. The 4-2-3-1 of 3 no and a changes in because the Toribia and Nonima Dueke, Sancho. And then of course, Subenya obiti se Neto of free Portugal. So free the or not the Kopama ball. Kopama losing a penalty. First time we're losing 100% record nani crown no. Very, very, very better. And Jean Boy at the penalty 200 one player and Nibeto and Yana Jordan and you. Jordan soon in penalty bopa. But unfortunately, Kopama we're losing 100% record in terms of penalty ticks. But Leicester team no pa vanish to a crown no. This team has to go through a lot of transitions to be back to the level of Leicester City. No, we've seen Leicester City team a one midfield of N'Golo Kante. We've seen Leicester City team a one midfield of Drinkwater. Bakayoko Mo Fifi on Mano Yejuma. Where is that deal? Where is that strength in that midfield? Ruben is about a typical 3-4-1-2 shape. Now, one of the he has to create a lot for Jamie Vardy and a Patson Daka. But creativity Ninko. Jamie Vardy, we've known him to be a typical center forwarder. Nimrika and a Ma'uhuni. Whenever he takes off from deep, Jamie Vardy is unreal. But this team are airborne under Ruud van Nistelrooy. No, almost show that level of resilience. Maresca team were there. In fact, and what didn't Nusube said they're buying more demonstrate to Europe. No. Yeah. Don't tell me some buying lose 3 points and I say I won't drop points of weekend with him if I buy in example, but we have the level buying what I mean some come me too but we have the level I make and want buying in Madrid, Barca, they have their level. And I am saying Chelsea would really have to do a lot and sign on Maresca what made a very formidable team. But for Van Nistelrooy, Sadio way the warrior or less than a King Power Stadium hodia. Me man penifua or more Manchester or man for Jumano Armano. Mino Munina a juniper. Say big club like Manchester. Now the amount of Van Nistelrooy. Now Leicester crown ya dear Jumana way ho. But that's not initial resource no come on. And the ya na ya pam manager for the subsequent manager of the banner. Ne West. Nensama wo ye ne ade no yawo play ball kra wo ye bi more you giving the opportunity of person ku ne ho de ma no domi coach ba ko na wo ko no eto de no ko nyina wo ho de ma you see that sometimes play ball Bobby ba ye ne favorite position obo no new coach ba o ka chere no one or two few words chere no pe yawo no you the best out of that player. So getting a big club like Manchester United would you see Van Nistelrooy so and yet is it Amorim their differences behind him because Leicester City at King Power me who the Van Nistelrooy he hasn't really showed some clear identities and saying I'm a person here. Yes, Obibeka, the games are really few but I want to see something. Leicester City pressure benaka wo ma ho chiro but mami movie on amenko Declan Rice in 7 or kind you know and Chemi player or experienced player Declan Rice about the ma Free Lions or started the ma or started them at Arsenal. After game, no more bought it Manchester United. No, yeah, Declan and some of the kind of say we were very naive. For Asare too naive, no, in the last 10 minutes, we could have handed the game to Manchester United. They have individual quality and threat. As some of you walk at the last 10 minutes, you know, can give me free ones to which team? Manchester United, which attackers? I mean, for God's sake, Arsenal team why a person or league, you know. Was the last 10 minutes no come lose game the Manchester United as a set Declan Rice a couple players in the it might be the real case on the grounds but yanka if you admit and tell me, say Manchester United is jigam left from which squad? In a back four, Calafiori, Timbani, Saliba, and then Gabriel, protected by Thomas Partey, and I would decline Rice. Now, when they rest our back six, we say, I mean, yeah, when a double pivot of Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, a back four of Timber, Calafiori, Saliba, and then Gabriel. Why in the area from Manchester United's perspective? I know the catches the last 10 minutes, and it's a league, and one of Liverpool go. I mean, it's gone. I mean, echo. But you shouldn't say it. It's mediocrity to come and tell us a United team will come on jig game left from the last 10 minutes. You know, Declan pa. No, a low statement from such a player.
Even so, you're real.
Real, no, I'm saying you're real, no bonum. You're real, no. And coach me to be can't player say you are better than okay. Mario Götze, Eba 2014 World Cup final, no. Joachim Low catch Saturn goal catch and say Messi is already playing. We're really be our field and so everybody on the field first go and tell them you.
Yeah, go and show the world.
Go and show the world you are the best. You see the better than on one outfield and so in reality, yeah, is that why we are saying? But momentarily, as some coach in the catch one catch say, hey coach, where the correct Messi would he admitted the worst.
And pounds one a be go.
Look decide the game, you know. So 71 man and you real you can. It was also a real you can.
Yeah.
In the game against Manchester United, squad bay United show. Squad bay. I mean squad bay. Now Onana dey onye good goalkeeper kra. Me che goalkeeper sini mu miensa. Ba bia Buffon Casillas mo no. Ba bia man no ya mo no. Ya ho de omo dwo ma home. But omo che pe no. Ya okotoa ho, ya black, ya testagen wo ho no. Ana ho bi betim do Onana kwa kowura ho bia na. Testagino black kotoa mo Allison wo hono mo no obetimi do na kwa kowura ho do na ye de shaksi ni kra ye tie na no o ya hwo bibio ami me mahu Onana for Ayas mahu Onana for Inter madwene ya akoye me say just a team is strong and san Onana wo yi no ho
okay say bia Inter no mo chire solid say omo say bia Real Madrid be Barca be omo form
what would the community no he's played for two different teams by style and identity. What both for Ayasa a full attacking team. It's a be an body credit team no. Ya pachoso follow komo. He's played for a few attacking side.
The probability so be consider form.
Because Bono Ayas a lot.
Yeah.
And then he's played for Inter Milan. They defend with their lives. But for Manchester United. But for a bit said Victor Vardes, okay, check the trophies, baby. But the Juma in winning those trophies, you know, say because Barca always dominated, kept control and balancing the games against different opponents. Victor Vardes so much Champions League, by my side, so Onana there, on lifting the performance because many performance. Look, Amorim Hodge, you know, the free back, you know, I am sure say going forward the best system. Lindelof, he doesn't have future Old Trafford. Deal it. Me who is Amorim going forward the best system. The midfield of Casemiro, Ericsson. Me who really send sharp sir. They don't have that balance in the final third. Where the profligacy? Where's the goal scoring sharpness in the final third? Zegzi, Garnacho, and then Bruno. I mean, we look at this attack. Attack going to be across the semi-final of the Champions League, and that's where the club wants to be. So imagine you say Amorim, the system not there, obe maintain identity no, but the personnel within the system no, I am sure say obe system. Man City kakra bi na yenko. Pep Guardiola there domestically niema na hwiegu. Niema na jiegu from a very very difficult say Oba. I mean Oba him for 23 points adrift of Liverpool that top. They are not scoring.
So say out of 9 games, that is 27 possible points, and I said 27 available points. No, Liverpool have 16 points. They are winners.
I mean, Liverpool budget.
Yeah.
Arsenal where we are. Man City. But the story here isn't about Man City. I've really come to tell you, say Man City were in transition. If you see Zini we are more in transition. Bernardo Silva and then Nico Gonzalez double pivot. You know, it looks like a pivot 1, pivot 2. And then the final Doku, Foden, Savino. This attacking try, you know, Bojna Halanachi. It looks one for the future, in my opinion. But the story in that game, no, happens to belong to Nottingham Forest. Nottingham can be said, someone can say fallen giant. obi asika woni botom no ate ahwe eno ne betima kasa Forest san mo te na wasa sorry about back 1980-81 season was the last time obuba Europe, but for domestic season we call 18 years no mai 18 seasons na Forest nyamai. But there happens to be one of the few clubs waji da Champions League waji no asa akoba no asa ababeji waji o no asa akoba no asa ababeji 79-80. They are very strong domestically. Juma no espirito yerafino. Look, Man City attack of Savino, Doku, Foden, Haaland, Asher 31 goals. The attack of Elanga, Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs White, and Akrisud, also 31. Isn't that surprising?
Doku, Savino, Foden, and Haaland
31
goals. Almost 31.
Yes.
Why heard Doku ne Savino no momuni nyanchen kakra mayansa because asem komo na ye di no kafra 31 na asem Doku ne Savino
o ma she bia
asem mo no ma contribute it me sro ma me Foden ele Haaland why because Elanga ne column was not do here omuni Krisu omu Segu omi enu dey 10 Savino ne any Doku no adam from there 10 Savino say 5 goals ala
Savino 1 per 18 Doku would you ever show one nkwana from isn't that surprise? So secure the far we will buy.
Oh yes.
Never secure the far Forest for us to buy 31. I mean, yo, isn't that surprising?
Whoa.
My member Barca doctor no rest in peace, unrest well. Steve Boss, remember the Corinthians was. Minimuno pani, minimuno. Asempana, asabu say ka ni mak me Michael to go.
Whoa, Mate, me that say. Mama meza where Miriam ba Michael and Sana Stephen so about. Meza.
Yes, Fancy. The biggest question Bisani is can the 3-4-3 ever work in the Premier League for Ruben Amorim? I personally think it can. There are some games be on my Manchester United boy. You are fully convinced of the system no more born and adi betime ayode and betime the ababonte. And yeah, Arsenal game no in particular na me person me dey the standard. But I've watched this team against City. My hate team were against Liverpool. My hate team were against some of the top teams. So BMC we don't measure Manchester United and everything changes. The difference between bad results and good results for Manchester United this season has been attitude, not the system.
Okay.
Has been attitude, not the system. Attitude means the players' ability to stay disciplined to their position. The players' ability to read the game and understand when to move and when to stay. And the attitude, some will share a lot of goals at the Abua club. It's not about the system. Because this is the same system that a team perform more be a team can say, oh, and the Ruben Amorim system where there, Ruben Amorim star where there, a bit more 10 goals, a bit more 20 goals, a bit more games. These are things I'm for her. This is a system, Abuano, Ama League, no. What team are born home or they was Sporting CP. This is a system where they buy England, by Emirates. To Arsenal or the 10 men or creating more chances than Arsenal. Eddie Arsenal free move.
Yeah.
This is the system I share Manchester City. So ultimately as a system we say can be a failure. No. You can have an argument. He said there is only one coach about England or the Treback League.
Conte.
Antonio Conte. Yeah. But yenya coach so so by or the Treback Belgian Champions League and no coaching English team. Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
So there are several things that happens. There are coaches and a lot of things that can be changed within one move. It may be dear. Amorim Nyoma na oya Manchester and he made a certain statement last week say ono na dwuma no time ni hu te say Arsenal ni Mikel Arteta de no.
Yeah, also say time now mo dia.
Which I personally agree.
Ono nya sa time.
Which I personally agree. And now me pay close attention to the commentary around the game. Na me ne minua not to phone ne sro baby.
Okay.
What your commentary ni bia Manchester United dey bia na commentators no asem bia mo Manchester United has been bad. But yesterday they found a way to score. It is OTA in community BB around the team now. Nothing about Arsenal. Nothing about whatever Arsenal failed to do. Everything is about how Manchester United are so bad to a certain extent. So what you secure a draw against Arsenal. This is the job you've played yourself in. Gary Neville mo bebe tenase and who some no meka. When we know say Monday night football. Steve Adam for pa Jamie Carragher. Oba betena TV ni so. I can add to be our we are actually baby a Manchester United. Nothing about Arsenal. But me know me no nyina and me say the statement and new thing can say Declan Rice can. Said they were naive. Naive, no. Then the moment naive during the latter parts of the game. Again, a Arsenal game, not from Muntimi Mobile Casemiro. I only stamina. Et me press ya by Jebo, Ejema Holland, Ejama declares a baby boyfriend in him.
When a Man U game.
That's what I'm saying, say attitude. Share attitude of Man United, the boss I give.
I say, you can hear big matches, no, Yama won't share. Yama
won't share.
You didn't hear.
Then almost you're not here, money on one macana. Henanu 2-0 or more considered Everton in the first half. Compare the first half attitude, never to the say. Formation now is against Everton. It did not change, the system did not change. But the attitude changed, and a team never say, 2-2. Moment in a game defines your character. Quite a moment to be back, not your show, I'll be reacted. Quite a moment to be back, not so your chance, over to me, go no, very important. And then, it's one of those things. It's about time Manchester United will look forward, buy players who fit into whatever they want to do, and they'll get going. Or say, and you won't be defend the counter. This team is built for counter-attacking game. I don't know if you realize it. Just say Mourinho buy because Luis Van Gaal. Luis Van Gaal been injuries baby. Luis Van Gaal play or shining man the Anthony Martial. That season now, a boy and just Lingard Munanaji team the DSO now. Just say buy and there was an overhaul kaka. Just say Kofa Lindelof for money enough for Bobi the mobile team. And after team necessity with 4-2-3-1, the Alexis Sanchez have come. Ya Pijaboni say 10 na Lukaku a tree Yama Rashford. Almost a Liverpool 2-0 be sa game leader. Me see Jose Mourinho who Liverpool no weakness ni easy. First half no show mu 2-0 or the Lukaku could not Trent or so. Long ball, did you have bonnet? Na Lukaku didn't tear tree. Now Tohama Rashford play space no apply to net. It is only than associate so before a team still counter attack. It is coaches are for Mabani and if you want to play possessive football with this Manchester United team, you struggle. Over break. Because player be no team no bet imagine ball no so for be about 3 minutes, 2 minutes are all done no. And you're looking for the player be a passing ball, man. Or be looking uncomfortable. So this seminar okano, it is clear and real as to the situation of Manchester United. But as to so no time, you know. And correct such mistakes, you know. As we another conversation we can have all together.
And none of passports bites. Maybe say Amorim so omuhia more Brunos. Let's say on your players, let's say Obia to say Bruno one availability and the quality. I am the pass work availability and quality. But I make and Jano Pakra so many times. Yes, so can last week in the say
Bruno there.
I was a Bruno crap.
What baby crown or coffee baby no because I say because I can go to Kawasama Manchester United another 3 points. She Sevilla was Sevilla team no. Arsenal let's one. Arsenal how many more almost like so. Marco Andrew better be almost sporting director. Sure. There is the good, there is the bad, there is the ugly. The good of it near say I didn't pan Andrew better Arsenal for the Babeka team no one or transfer market in Arsenal team contenders for the league. Let's not forget say Atletico Madrid bridging the gap between Omo and Barcelona and Real Madrid men cast Omo chen Omo bridging the gap no. Ejina say Omo transfer market they got in players that fitted the style of Diego Simeone. So be free na fufuro be shemu a fancy. The most important thing is a player and betimi adapted to the style of play of the coach in your mom betimi aye. Two different clubs altogether. Arsenal a team with the JDP style of football, positional play, and they try to exploit spaces. Celebrate superiority, getting a free man always.
Yes.
Pep Guardiola and your man have been a free man. No initiative, forward passes, no more they come with him. Is he really going to fit that style? Because Atletico Madrid they are quite the opposite of what Mikel Arteta. But the last season of Mikel Arteta, boy, you know. First it say Mikel Arteta no only coach or strictly a JDP coach because I said this season, you know, 6 feet for the dorsum. I'm not for correct me for Tony Pulis and him no the share Arteta him because games need be one my proper Stoke City football for Arsenal. Meaning Arsenal are open for adaptability. And the minimum about Mikel Arteta so near say Abra no muji the FA Cup no. O Pierre Emerick Aubameyang Lacazette mu nyina no. Omo bo 3 back bi no mo bo football bi am say na enye fe kra. Din aggressive na no mabo no mo di age. So Andrew Better comes in baby and the task is here power near so be striker am Arsenal. Because he say obi an komodi na say Arsenal ni striker, Arsenal ni attacker. Me say susu bi Martinelli en fa ni league. You fuck have it in league. You fuck Gabriel Jesus and you league as your top main striker. Ebia City no your main striker no a backup. You funny in league. So a main striker there be wow. It's about the track record of strikers ni players are from Modioma Bana. They are wrongs and they are right. It's not because they are good. The good news say what me top players be by. Mo bridge the gap between Omo Real Madrid ne Barcelona it on be fair mu be league ni bi. The bad near say on your transfers be wrong, especially replacing Antoine Griezmann. Okofa Ja Felix, the jack of all trades, master of none. Ja Felix ana me friend jack of all trades, boy, master of none. Okofa 113 million pounds. Anfa. Okofa Thomas Lemar 72 million pounds. Anfa. So there are certain players be Osakofa Diego Costa na Okofom for 50 million pounds. Anfa. So the bad, there are sometimes players are signing on Modioma Ba. But you'll be hopeful. Say Obetimamo Julian Alvaro Morata. And Diego Costa no Kofana Babium no. And Diego Costa and a form near was Atletico Madrid at Chelsea Kofani day.
Yes.
And then the buy Antoine Griezmann, Matheus Cunha, Luis Suarez, Memphis Depay. Arsenal will be hoping say Obama almost Samuel Moro Dion. Arsenal be so Obama top striker and a top attacker be obetimi abom mo to achieve results. Men of football is evolving. And I'm happy the English teams are adapting to it. They be another catch or say, your coaches are in England. There are more managers. But when you go to the Bundesliga, they are coaches. When you go to the Italian Serie A, they are coaches. But in England, they are called managers because of Majumaso. But now, no, Omuni sway away from it. Hemunchi Ejuma Wabaye was Aston Villa. Where the kind of players need signings or Diomaba. She Marcus Rashford. She the likes of Marco Asensio. The results of Munya Wamutim in Manchester United, no more for director of football. That. Not even talk about sporting director. David Gill and Alex Ferguson and a year, you command over consign player and the But the name Manchester United wants to appoint a sporting director. Chelsea was sporting director say 2. Obiani Abre because they are swaying away from the norm because these countries no more realizes no didn't want the AJJ trophies. I feel na England for any Abre say see a team. So getting the finest to come to the league will not only help the teams to be dominant domestically, by getting the best into the league will help propel them to go to European standards and get results. Because Aston Villa or Monchi, now Arsenal or Andre Beta, Manchester United back of Christopher Vevel. These are guys who make your name in different countries at different levels and put teams some of my global clubs and results. To perform with the mobile league anymore, you are not only bettering the players are more mobile league by the players. And they say England for more money in Jesus sporting directors Weber League in him. Yet Mika say Tony Mbappe, no English team bet Marco Mbappe dinaba. Eddie one of most somewhere the best league in the world. Best league in the world, you go top players who must perform
top players, no. Say this class form no call La Liga.
La Liga na so if you tell us here for no class wash as a free for no woman no akofan no de naba. No akofan no de naba. Not Naba Bishim, Lotaro Martinez in the Mitri was obedient to me going, obedient to be free England.
Marcus to Ramsey, Obia Inter for fan free Bene, or more pay 85
that thing must change.
But Marcus to Rananko bet me up Boman you, obet me up Bochel, obet me up Bossit, obet me up
Arsenal Muna. But Siciano, or more bet me as a Sasadiano. How the English league, adapted to foreign sporting directors, opening their arms to them. Say Mumra, Yanumbe Yajuma. Players are, but say coaches in some way there. Ohe Pep Guardiola, she Anslot, she Hawa, Ruben Amorim, so Abeshe League nim, Okohe Eye Unai Emery, Anthony Arola, Mikel Arteta. Look at how a Danny League in the face any. Now it's about time the big sporting directors should be coming to the Premier League. Set the bear on bear attracted top players. Edio Maba. Me who retake be anomeniaji. Wouldn't get anomeniaji no? How Obiano nobody in Argentina became Italy's top striker. Fancy, Ubetimi that dreams had the always in order. Because Ononankasa ya wonu Argentina, ya wonu Italy. Kwanya Italy for far so naturalizing here because ni great grandparents ya womo Sicily. Ehona ewo anemo mo kofa ne de buy. Obo Italian national team abra no obo Argentina, Tigers one na obo. That season no obo from 2021 to 2023, 48 games, 30 goals. In the last few years, the last time I knew Italian striker.
South America for Mujanu
the last
Italian
striker.
Italy, South America, there's that connection. Zanetti, Zanetti.
Yes,
they have that.
Oriundi. Oriundi, a South American native with Italian origin. Either from Brazil, Tessemota type, or from Argentina. There are some who are even from remotely Chile. Any other countries. You're from Oriundi, Bakui Oriundo.
Okay.
And I'm so happy. So I bet me crowd the flag of Italy. The America say
Moro Camoranesi.
Yes, Moro Camoranesi from Juventus. The last time I Mike, Italian player saw Capo Cannonieri. What the Italian here was Ciro Immobile. 36 goals. 2019-2020. How many years? 5. Who Ciro Immobile through on my free 2000 so about 2 Italian players na Cano, Luca Toni and Francesco Totti asa. And Kadian Kayemu League there. I wasn't getting players within a be on the best pay up a team in the SEO. But Italy are yet known for producing top strikers in the league that wins the Capo Cannonieri in the last few years. But say now I know can say 22 goals. Fancy or you closer to getting the Capo Cannonieri. See a real league season and a you know now retegi ababeje. But I am there say Italy have found their man, and it is true who Mancini and the Kofa that way and the free Argentina holding the buy. Almost first qualifiers game on both England and Morton, you know, she'll go again was a sound. And I'm Mokofa and then buy. We're moving from Genoa, now he's playing for Atalanta. From Atalanta, who knows? Italy might be having their own striker they could take to tournaments and rely on him and say yes, we are the Abba. Ono sumebo bono and fantoatinebo and famaye. Better lesson for Thiago Motta. Emede Onsuano Fentuni Hofo. The master of trade back formation will Italy one no. Simone Inzaghi, Antonio Conte, the third person but then the Beckham, Gasperani, Onimbo Papa, man to man marking. Oh my own Yahoo crown webiti. And what media create chances. Me sure say could menace. Obehedi no aka say, hey, aha ma ben ya beto am ya sa be hye me foi. But it opens up the conversation when it comes to who is going to win the Italian Serie A. It's still closer. 1 point between Inter and Napoli. Who will come back no against Monza. Edi asem na Simone Inzaghi catch more dressing room. They became monsters in the second half. Lautaro Martinez keeps on scoring, but with the bench of Inter Milan, the quality of Modeba Monti. Real Madrid keeps on. Pressure no room. Atletico Madrid loses. But Madrid almost on Bejibia. I share the emblem to me actually because Barcelona Susunyambo more standing game no. But it's a close contest. And I believe say Atletico Madrid Medica just said this will go down to the wire. League when and yes San Marino be beje. Akabe 3 or 4 matches no. That is what will determine. And to say Englander, me no ka say die. Anslot ejatri hu on ne mrantie no. Not all bad men are bad. But me say Anslot prove ya say all bad men are madrin soon. She changes so in the second half in the Danny game. This is 1-2 abasa or 2 ya not the share.
Mate, Meza Medasi, Maria new team, Meza, so area me ba Mike Eho, and Mr. Boadu, and so Ababeshim, Ediaman, Sana Stivo, at the Nediana, but no BBC Meza say Halan, Chris Wood. Now, I'm sure they said all the Aboboy compare Ferrari, no. Mike,
Chris Wood, you're near form.
When
the status or an elite finisher, consistency, you know, Chris Wood was hit right from because the team no on a good run. Into difference a woman no or mummy and difference in terms of class, quality, and then consistency. Wow, yes, I will compare Chris Wood ne Haaland no. There's a Osha football from just this season. This season pen now start to share ball. Insanity. Fancy, Onim Crochy Amansa. Okay, the leopard.
Okay.
Like I said, the leopard does not share the sport. And then you can't say, Coach Amansa, so tones you more. No one therefore, no one since Sunday order and pepper. Good. About Teta. And it's. I don't know. About Teta and his mindset about what needs to change in the Arsenal team for them to realize that final thing they need. Nitrimuponi na say what he had in mind by building the squad. Sape pepe never say so momon koma mudi wahana Arsenal here striker no. In Arteta's mind, that is not what they need. And you know here. Some parts is right. Liverpool, they don't have an out and out number 9 and a striker leading their lines. They have a prolific attacker or forward in Mohamed Salah and the ball assistant. So coaches any roles they give players to in the game no. And then the Boama players in the game so checking Liverpool forward line now. Uyi Salah goes ni frima Luis Diaz Mamudi Gupao. Menya sure see benya too much of a difference between Luis Diaz and Gabriel Martinelli. But for Salah's goals and then involvement.
Yeah.
Jota will be an outlier if you compare the other Arsenal forwards, no. So Arsenal's problem has been one, identifying a consistent scorer in their team, and then two, making sure they improve on the numbers other attackers in the war. In doing that, Arteta has also failed. In fact, so a compliment to your attacking lineup. Yeah, in fact, I have it in the top here. No, you don't. When you are looking for finishes, in fact, Gabriel Jesus, differences. So Arsenal's problem has been the profile they need to address their needs. Profile ben no more kofa. No, but the last season. And you who 3 attacking players, Reece Nelson, Ekoy, Anabeboa, Emile Smith Rowe, Edin Ketia, why you didn't be shy 9? Raheem Sterling, a player who could not even climb off the bench to play in the game against Manchester United. Arsenal here win. Remember, Dano, check Arsenal's last substitution, Endra. It was Kieran Tierney when Sterling was on the bench. What did Arsenal need in the game? They needed a goal. Say a per goal there, and you say winger no attacker near the baby mana. So why bring on Tierney when there is Sterling? Again, Arteta's decision making. If you offload 3 promising attackers, Nelson Ko, Nketiah, Smith Rowe all the Sterling bad, then it means I was here and that was a Sterling no. A bit maybe you maybe, but it is not him. A certain Ethan Nwaneri, a young boy who has showed up. So again, Arteta's transfer decisions are questionable, especially for the forward line. So now Akomeah din komobi say Andre better ba. Sandre better ba. Coach Amanso or Daman San Komuno so ankwa or bet none so.
Yes, I say sporting director and background
good
Arteta that so
good. Under normal football terms, the sporting director no, he's the boss of the coach. But Arsenal, the sporting director and the coach or the manager have equal powers. And the Arteta no to me to say the sporting director no. And I think that is where the problem is. Arteta has too much power. He decides who stays, who leaves. He decides who comes and who does not come. And that is a problem for Arsenal. I have no problem, baby, if the coach is experienced. What na our year football nache. Tebi Arsene Wenger bi. Into what Tibor Nase. Arteta nyo be aware experiences how the first major job in the year. So if you hand him that power to recruit players for a project, a winning project, I have no questions from Kakra. And that is where the problem is. Interior players no more bono or more. And if Arsenal do not address that, the problem will continue. Mumba pre-Osimhen, Mumba pre-Victor Gyökeres, Mumba one so a kofa a year Ferran Torres the naba.
I say, Mena Maya Madi,
yes,
Monsancho for more canning will speak there.
And yet, more cano. To everybody, Arteta is wrong. To Arteta, everybody is wrong. That is the problem. Tienyo more players, no. Mika Merino is still a functional player. And you're less to obey Jumano. But for the consistent period, for the long term, Arteta's decision making in terms of who has to come to top up the attack, a problem. And that means addressing. Mobile Ishak Nwejuma Uncle Fano. Onye. And in January, the pusu na HOS or Kwakofoli Watkins Denaba. It was Jason Nathan, the acting sporting director, who had to convince him to understand Arteta's power at Arsenal is too much for a manager who has won nothing but the FA Cup and then open community shield of account. To me or one. Pep Kraminya so will be Sao Man City. When you say Dokunya Pep signing.
Oh yeah, Omana didn't buy.
Good. Sa 2 minutes Arteta one. Menyesho say Pep Kra will be Man City.
Because
and it doesn't happen anywhere.
Sterling here, it do. And the Sterling buy like last minute transfer.
Arteta gave his that's one in your Juma now on boy ni use one Man City. Fanebra. I didn't buy the AC.
And also, boss, you are about to see the best of me.
And then in there, Kasatenten top onko, fancy. Kasatenten top onko. Kopama adieno. A simple football. No. Boba Newton, he's a coach. He will tell you, yeah, they are draining the ball. Newton and Ameboa. Yeah, they are draining the football.
Why ain't me cover baby jet? And the 7 p.m. on Summer Blaster.
Exactly.
I don't know, but we look.
Okay.
It's a son of the
football not drain or football not drain or. But I want to know.
Now, Omoyan drew 7 p.m. or more way, no, but when you way, no, Hona make you. Omoyan Unini game, no.
Oh, I want
to
born again.
Hona Mike,
Unzu or Molevi. Okay.
Now, BBC near so state of mind are affected, and as I did a 2 million pound. Now, I did a 2 million, no, a biwa for the first time. A bin cedar into a shock, a surprise. Say be a cedar, Ocean no dear no. Now the CSC, the AC in Prem. Kopama has never gone through such a spell before. Over 600 minutes without a goal. Enra for the first time in his pro career, or say a penalty, Anameboa. Mentally, he's being challenged. Mentally, he's doubting himself now. Me to me aye, and I mean to me. The moment that comes in, a track training a coach de mano, it goes to the player himself, and now he's able to rediscover his confidence, and then external help in terms of psychology. And Tanya Palma Nasa player be go through such a spell. But when we are Bofre Kuma born on Manchester, and you feign of him. So, and we be banner obeying him, we be and you have a coach and a penalty ball. And you have a coach Palma pass a ball. It is about working on his state of mind. And now he will stop the inner questions. Questions say when you move a bit piaba. Hey, now cross out on your hey, Nentime Palmini. Those questions will linger on in his head. So here, a way out, and that way out is to clear his head from all these doubts, and he will be fine. And the only thing that your problem is when there is an injury that limits his physical capacity. But when it has to do with the mental capacity, and that to say, and things will change into your problem. Good. Italy, a time now, so
I've 2 bisos on a member, Steve.
Italy racing. And your dear will be Atlanta, need your more idea. Atlanta are the best away team in the league.
Okay, and
you will be, but at home they have issues. And their next game against Inter Milan, if you check, their last win against Inter was way back November 2018. Omo Mushe goes for Atlanta on that day. Omo yine jai boboku no. So the point is, Atlanta will fall off. The race is between Napoli and Inter. Yes, and between them, Napoli have the advantage of the fixtures they will play and the equal strength of the opponents they will face. Inter have, to me, relatively tougher games to play against them. But was them running tea? We'll find time and have this conversation. But it is still a 2-horse race, and for Thiago Motta, the Ebesiane
you are on to me.
Obey to me.
Sir.
Yes. The Amoya Amodi deny a man for chance. No. Oko first round no ekosi saying, but subsequently net is saying them.
Okay.
Whoa, net is saying.
Okay.
O first time net is saying. They make Kamati as here.
First time there.
O first round net is saying. How was it like? Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm a boy.
They make first round. What you
first round then okay.
Oh, performance on radio.
Okay.
No, I do way.
Maybe say a presentation.
Right,
like I don't know.
So first round performance. Okay, what would you be on? Baby, be away. Oh, first round performance. How was it like?
Okay.
This is a coach given the task of a project he's never done before, and this is a team in transition. Last league title of Moje, players was one account. It was only Danilo and Chromaton. They will need time. Too many new faces and then a new manager. It takes time to build room.
Time. No,
but you see, in Italy, you will get time. In England,
pillow. The same seats, not pillow. So the same seats. The man fino.
And those were the sins of old. Yeah, no, we break it. So In Italy, you will get time.
Newton,
this is the point. Why you get time in Italy? Juve went to the Serie B.
Yeah.
They had time to rebuild and come back. Milan went down. They had time to rebuild and come back.
Under what circumstances?
Okay.
Juve de Cachopoli Lachomo.
Good.
2006, any sink you would have to get patience and come back.
There was a case of AC Milan. They went down. They had time to rebuild and come back. Then there is a case of Inter Milan. There is Inter Milan. They had time to rebuild and they came back. So in Italy you get time. In England you don't get time.
Who will
be the next candidate to come? There's no money. I said I make the time say to no time. See can you England no ko there. Jail said yeah. Sika so they waste time or you more yeah. But in Italy, Kakana near Bombay.
Question identity.
Yes.
I'm more question the playing style. I'm more question the character as a coach in big games. And I'm more question the relationship with the players. The players are not I don't say pepper on your be a jado. Society never show players anymore. You are fighting against them, you are fighting against the fans, you are fighting against the board, you are fighting against everybody. Nobody trusts you.
Against opponents.
Why not just multi say? Why not you? One say no.
Whoa. My memory